Everybody's here that needs to be here. Okay, I'd like to open up the meeting. Kiyomi, will you read the first participant?
Approval of minutes. The board members need to approve the minutes from January 27th, 2025.
Okay. Would you like to come up and whoever's
No,
gonna...
this is the
Approving the minutes right now.
The minutes?
Some-
Want the minutes now?
Last,
You wanna do
last
that?
meeting.
Somebody needs to make a
Okay,
motion
all
to
right,
approve the
Who makes a
minutes.
motion? I can't.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
Case number 25-2. Application Kathleen Corey for site plan approval
Minutes is done.
under section 125-19 of the Adams zoning bylaw for property located at 185 West Road, map 219, parcel 4. The request is operate a campground in the R1, R2 zoning district. Applicant is also requesting a waiver from the requirements for professionally prepared site plan.
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order here like I did, and Kiyomi read that. Will the applicant please come up here?
Hi, I'm Christian Rowe, this is Kathy Foley.
Okay,
Owner.
sit down.
I gotta,
He's got a,
I gotta.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll sit if you like.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to be rude. So we're Ashland Mountain Farms. Kathy Foley, she's owner, licensed riding instructor from the state of Massachusetts. She's also PATH certified. I lost count on how many things you're certified for, believe me. And she's been a licensed therapist for,
Long time.
the horses are something
Decades.
new to her therapy program. And I'm the property manager, hip camp operator, and kind of designed the program for everything there. As far as that is concerned, the hip camping, Mark Blaisdell okayed it. We're not really going for, we're just trying to hash out the details right now, so we've already got the okay to do it.
You wrote down.
So the things we do, equine assisted psychotherapy, horse boarding, therapeutic and traditional riding lessons, and hip camp, all of these are attached to each other, because any of these people, we've had them come in for the hip camping, so we also use it for a therapy program. I would say a good 10% of our people are therapy people. The Girl Scouts have come in with us, 2 different troops to take lessons. We have foster children. It's really big for that, and like I said, that leads into the camping also. We have the services. We do have a covered arena. We can't use it for clients right now, unfortunately, due to some mishaps. And we have a round pen. So that's our house. So that's the therapeutic riding. Now, some of these kids were therapy, and some of them are not. But no, actually, everybody's therapy here, one way or the other. And we have minis that we can bring into therapy minis. We can bring into hotels or not hotel, hospitals and city hall and different events. We can bring out, and that's part of the camping also, because the campers, when I tell them when I'm doing feeding time, and they show up and they love to sit around and do, it's in some of their reviews. I don't know if anybody's seen that, which I hope they have. Here's some campers that we had, some kids that have never touched mud before, some more students that came in. And these are from the hip camp site. Has everybody seen us on the hip camp site?
I did.
Have you checked this out?
Yeah, it
Cool.
was interesting.
Cool,
It was really
yeah,
cool.
awesome. Camping, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So we run 4 sites. Does everybody, because people were confused about that too, they thought we were opening up a KOA or something like that. We can only have 1 site that actually can fit a trailer, which is this site here, and maximum 16 foot. No, we're not gonna have anybody on our property and messing up our woods and stuff like that. So, and our driveway, Here are my reviews. So 99% third best in the state of Massachusetts for last year. I mean, I don't know if you looked at
I
some of
did,
the
and I
reviews,
actually
but
printed some out, we have great reviews.
yeah.
Everyone I read was really great.
So, and that's by design too, because unlike most campsites, I screen all the campers. So, where other campsites aren't gonna get screened. And out of the 140 people that we've had, I've turned out 41. I've declined 41 people that were gonna come and pay me money because they didn't fit our campground. That's the first time I ever counted today. I'm like, $45 a piece, what am I doing? No, so, this is the property, it's 22 acres. We have the power line easement, we have the gas line easement, and our campsites are off of all the easements. Both the power company, we have multiple, we're not doing anything on them, so they don't, there's not any kind of issues here. That's a good picture of our neighbors. So when we have letters from neighbors that have,
So where are the campsites on here?
so the campsites that are on here would be the 4 campsites. This is the round site that does the campers, like, you know, and then this is the 2 tent sites, only 3rd tent site here. Now these are, and these are spread, you know, these are spread out and like built into our woods kind of in our trail system. So that's,
You can see the main campsite.
yeah, you can see the main campsite right here.
Okay, can I ask a question? Now you have 6 people you figured for the camper,
Okay.
right? That's what you're saying, right?
No,
They can hold up to 6 people?
16 feet from.
A
bumper to
16-foot
bumper.
camper.
that?
A
16 feet from bumper to bumper.
Or 16
Total.
feet
That's the
camper,
maximum
yes.
size of the camp.
of a trailer you could have?
Yeah, correct, yes.
From, yeah,
Okay.
including the truck,
And how
right?
many people fit into a trailer like that?
It depends on what size it is. And we've had people pull up with trailers, and then their friends have tents. This is a pretty big site. I mean, we
Well,
have.
yeah, 22 acres is a lot.
But I mean, the campsite itself, this is our main campsite. I mean, the people have family reunions there and birthday parties, and it's a great spot for that. So, I mean, we've had up to probably 16 individuals staying there at one time with,
16.
yeah, with plenty of space
Like
for
multiple
everybody.
tents and.
Yeah, multiple tents and, yeah, but the one camper, like a teardrop trailer, you're gonna get about 3 people in there. That's what we're talking about, like a pop-up
Right.
or a teardrop. So it's
Right.
whatever, it's sometimes 8, sometimes, you know, but I don't wanna sleep in a teardrop trailer with 8 people. So yeah, so it's all, I mean, it's like any campground. You're gonna get you know, some people bring, you know, a 2-person pop-up. And that's one of the questions that's actually asked, are you taking a trailer or tents? And then it breaks out how many people, you know, are there, and even dogs. And, you know, so when the information comes to me, somebody's asking to stay on our property. So I can make sure it's a good fit.
Right.
So if they, you know, say something like, well, then, you know, well, we like our music, I'll say, well, you know, it sounds like this isn't the place for you if you wanna go jamming all night long. You know, an acoustic guitar, that's great, but yeah, no boombox.
You know, I can remember there was a campground called Shady Pines up in Savoy.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of that place, and boy, that guy was something else. But anyways, 10 o'clock, not everything was out. Campfires, everything. Now I'm listening to the Red Sox on a little transistor radio. I got a little campfire going. Guy comes, he's got a pail of water, dumps it on my campfire. Says, I told you, 10 o'clock, everything's done. Gotta get into your camp and that's it. You
I
know?
make sure I don't have to do that.
No, I mean, that's kind of rude.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful place. You had a nice pool and
Hey, if you know the rules when you come in though, but you kinda, you know, you
you
gotta
gotta go by the
follow.
rules.
Right,
So,
right.
but my question is, how far, what is the closest neighbor to where the campsites are gonna be?
I will get to that, absolutely, I will get to
Okay,
that.
all right.
So it'd be
We have
easier to see
measurements
it.
for you.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, okay,
On
that's
the
cool.
site.
Yeah, so, So, yeah, that's a good aerial picture. Now, our property line, we're 22 acres now, this brook right here, basically from this point on is the property line. So, when the campers come in, and this is all state forest, this is all Greylock. So, the campers, when they come in, I show them, and you can almost see the trail. So, I walk them out to here, and then they follow the trail up here, and then they're all the way out to the woods, and they're not crossing anybody's.
It goes into the glen.
Yeah, it goes right into the glen. So the people that even, you know, and I tell them there's nothing there. There's no trespassing sign. So they're not, and there's never been an issue with any of the abutters, anybody bucking up on them or anything. So yeah, I make sure everybody knows.
It's also the easiest way to go
Yes,
through, like, you
yeah.
can't really go, you can't follow the power line straight or the
Right.
gas line
Yeah.
straight, there's.
And the
you can't
gas
really-
line's a swamp there. I mean, it's a natural spring. It
So
actually.
there is a spring and there is wetlands there.
Well, I wouldn't consider it wetlands because it's not all year. Probably 3, and this is well away from the campgrounds.
Okay.
And there's no there. Everybody brings anything they bring in, they got to take out. We don't take their garbage. We don't take anything like that. So there is a natural spring that like between here and here. Like right now, there's a good.
There's something.
There's some good water back there. But if we like last year's drought, the last 3 months it was completely
Dry.
dry. So it just depends on it. It's a low area with groundwater there, and I'm hoping. And we talked to the gas company today. They have actually. We're discussing actually putting in a trail on there so we can take our do a horse-drawn carriage around our property
Someday.
at some point.
They-
So, right, and she was very into it, and she told us the rules and what we can and can't do, and basically it wouldn't take more than 10 minutes to
She was great.
hash it out. She was awesome. So yeah, where are we at now? That is the aerial,
That's the topo map, because David said we want to see a topo map, so.
yes, so we have all the.
Okay.
This is, and I'll walk you through when they come in. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is our house with the egg, the egg house right
I
there.
could drive off just to check it out.
Well, we run out of eggs quick, so the people would drive in there and they come up the driveway, go right past our house. And that's another good point too. Everybody goes past our, this is our property. We're not, if it's gonna bug our neighbors, it's gonna bug us. So we don't do that at our property. They go up past the chicken coops. We sell our chicken eggs, obviously. We also sell lumber there. Up past the horses. And then they come up to a stop sign. All visitors must check in. Sign in here. Here's our porta potty.
Yeah.
This is leading out to the electric lines. So if they look the other way, they see our arena. So there's no way to go there. They're not going to get lost through there. That's an inside picture if you're curious there. And then they sign our permission slip. So it's everything's covered. Kathy, checked with. This is for equine and for the camping and anybody on property. Basically,
Everybody who comes on our property.
yeah, basically I tell them if you get kicked by a horse, it's not our fault, which is part of being a farmer. So, and then we lead them across the power lines, and this would be the opening to the main campsite. Like, see how big it is? And so a camper, and this is where I got the 16 feet. That's the largest size that can pull around. So nobody has to back up, and I don't have to pull them out of the mud or anything like that. So and this is facing the other way, so that would be the power lines. And you can see, you just can't, there's no leaves right now, and you can't see anything through the woods for anything. So that goes out to there. This is coming in, this is additional parking, because I know parking's always a question. And we have plenty of parking. Now, when you're coming out to the other campsites, which are just the tents, you can go up this side or that side of the field, and it's off of the easement, and then there's parking here. And basically, the campsites at the upper sites are just built in. People just stay in the woods, and they're cleared by our trails, and so it's real like, you know, fluidic where people can, you know, have a little bit of space or be together whichever way they want.
So there's only 3 sites up there?
There's
4 sites total.
4
Yeah.
sites total,
3
but
for
up.
tents and 1 for a trailer.
Or
Yes.
tents, whatever.
Why you don't?
Right, yes, absolutely, yeah, we don't have the capability to, once again, we ride up this hill, so we don't want a bunch of traffic, if it's
Right.
too wet, they park down, and I'll help them carry their stuff up if they need it, but I'm not gonna fix the ground. So, yeah, and so we're pretty strict about that.
We don't want, I mean, we gallop our horses up the hill sometimes for training, and it's really fun, but we don't want them to step in a hole or
Oh,
something
yeah,
to
yeah,
break a
yeah,
leg.
yeah,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm militant about if it's, the ground's not good, you're not driving on the hill.
Right.
Where'd you get that?
Are you allowing RVs up there at all?
RVs or ATVs? The RVs, just the trail, just the
ATVs?
ATVs, absolutely not. We had issues with that, we have the horses and we can't do that with the riders.
Are you providing any electric or water?
Nope. No electric, just the porta potty.
There is
That's
a
it.
water.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, we have a potable water up in there and actually, thanks for reminding me. Between these 2 buildings, there's a water spigot and it's from our well, it's really.
Okay, one other thing is, do you provide the wood for camping?
From our property, no outside wood from outside the state.
Okay.
And I would rather make the $5 myself.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. We have plenty of wood this year, holy moly, anybody need to
What
come over and help?
what about mosquito control?
We have a lot, through the horses, we have a lot of different control, but even with that standing water, I've never really had an issue where a little bit of bug spray hasn't had. You're asking also, they don't like me, so.
No, I'm looking, you said you had some wet areas.
It's actually running water. It's a natural
Not
spring,
standing.
so it's running
It's not
down.
standing water.
Right, and there can be lots of frogs back there too, I think that helps.
Okay.
So, so, where'd it go?
It's a nice piece of land.
Thank you very much. This is one of the tent sites. So the tent sites, we don't have, I haven't made fire pits. We're just using very small fire pit, just a little 18 by 18. Because we want to be in more
Are they gonna be
control.
like brick fire pits?
Well, I don't think so. Right now, we're just using like the cheap,
Then you get
Metal.
solo stoves.
Okay.
it's metal and it's got a cover.
On the metal ones.
Right.
Walk away with
Okay.
Well, and these we can take away if,
Right.
we don't want them to.
So, and we have, and I do want to design, I have a bunch of metal roofing that I do want to kind of design my own and
Okay.
mess with, but I have so many projects. So that's a good thing, that's a good thing, and the actual tent areas up here, they like these, they wouldn't stay on the field anyway, because it's just too damn hot during the day. So when they're up in the fields in the summertime, we have paddocks down, and the horses can run up on the fields when they're camping. So around 10 o'clock in the morning or so, I let the horses run up and all the campers get to watch them jumping around and farting on the new grass. And that's where they would run up to. That's the only thing we're allowed, people are allowed to park underneath the power lines. We can't store things, but people can park under, our horses, we can ride horses, we can do, it's open property. We just can't have anything permanent on there.
So you have a lot of trails up there for the horses and stuff?
Oh, yeah, we make more every year. Yeah, we can get right over to the Glens
Do
with it.
you teach people to ride on a horse, you?
Yes,
We both,
I've never
yeah.
been on a horse, I'm just
come
wondering.
on over.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
I don't wanna get killed though.
No.
We don't want you to either.
Yeah. Well, you will sign the
You
thing.
just have to, sign the waiver.
Sign your life away.
How does that work with therapeutic though?
What do you mean? In which,
Your reliability?
I'm a certified therapeutic riding instructor, and whoever the parent or the guardian or themselves, depending, signs for all the above, signs the release. And we have, it's a good question, we usually have a leader leading the horse, and sometimes 2 sidewalkers, often like gripping the saddle and putting an arm across the leg of the person, depending on what they need. Like we had a little boy with ADHD that periodically, out of nowhere, would just pitch himself sideways. And so pretty much you're just walking and watching him closely so you can back on the horse.
Well, my son has mild cerebral palsy, and you must know the Grosses in Williamstown, ran therapeutics.
Yeah,
He took it for a long time. It was a real benefit to him,
yeah.
so.
And
So
we
the
make
question-
sure we get medical clearance, and if they need something like a physical therapist, we
So-
now have a speech language therapist who's gonna be working with us.
Okay, so when you're running these therapeutics, are they out in the open or are they in your arena?
Well, they should be in the
Right.
arena as well, but we have do you have a round pen? Actually? We have a round pen that is enclosed,
Okay,
that outside,
yeah,
that they can,
Yeah.
we do it in there. It depends on their comfort level, the horse, the interactions, before we would consider, but we do, we can take them, and probably was some in the
okay, one other
early
question.
picture out in the woods.
One other question is, with the campers, are they allowed to bring dogs? And do you regulate what breed dogs they bring?
I don't regulate what breed, but there's definitely, they have to be, I mean, we have chickens, we have cats, and we have horses, so if they're not good with chickens, cats, and horses, they're not coming on the farm.
How do you know that?
What's that?
How do you know?
Because I ask them if they're not good with chickens, cats, or horses, I'll kick them
And they
off the
still have
farm.
to be on leash.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like they're
right, yes, and that, right.
So
we're-
in other words, they're not
You
gonna
would know
spook
right
a horse.
away.
They're not gonna
Right.
spook a horse where there's a therapeutic rider.
Oh no, absolutely. We're very lucky because the way that our property is split up. When you go up to the horses, it goes up. There's a big hill and then it goes up to a grade. So when you come out, our farm area is totally separated from the camping area.
Yeah, you don't see any of
So,
this.
like, they can't do it, you can't even hear them when they're back there, because it's a different elevation, it's a different, so, yes, if they're around, it could happen, and a deer can run through and jump through,
Yeah.
and there's so many different things, and that's part of the discussion when they come in. I tell them that that they're with therapy, and people are there for that reason. I mean, they're like, the people that are there are mindful of that, and I can't control everybody 100%.
So these campsites are gonna be basically raw, you're not gonna have lighting or anything?
No, absolutely, no lighting, no, like I said, anything they pull in, they pull out. This is what we do.
Oh, this is a good view. That's how it looks when it's most of the camp season. It's all in leaf.
So it's not gonna be like a party in place.
Absolutely not. No, it's and if you look at the hip campsite, it's mentioned many times that we're family orientated. We don't, 100%, we don't want our horses getting scared. I don't want to deal with junky people. I have kicked people out before. I have asked people to leave, and they have done it, and I still have the reviews. You don't get reviews like that unless you're screening the people that you're, I'm not that good. I'm just that good at screening people.
They were great.
So-
Is there
I didn't hear them all.
is there a max quantity of people on a campsite?
Yes, I on the website it's 16 people.
16 people at
Total?
one campsite?
Yes, and we would never ever remember. That's just what it says on the campsite. That doesn't mean that's what those are my
Per
rules. I can follow.
campsite, or
Yes, but that's not what that doesn't happen. That's
The
just
big campsite.
Yeah, on the big campsite, I would never do that many people on. Like we had a family reunion, and that was about 16 people, and we might have had another one campsite that had 2 people, and then one that had 4. We're not getting parties of 16 people calling us that many times. And if the weekend were heavy, I wouldn't take it. If the weekend were light, then I might take it. I mean, it's
You
it's
agreed to something with
Because
the zoning board.
yeah. Well, yeah, we're about.
because what I wouldn't want to see is like 100 people, 150 people up there.
and we don't want
We live
that.
there.
What's that?
Yeah.
Neither would we live there.
And you know what, as a city that needs business,
Well, I know that.
that's the other side,
That's the other
too.
good side.
Right,
Right.
and we were already bringing the businesses, and quite frankly, we've been doing this for 3 years.
I didn't even know.
And you've never, right, and none of the people besides one party that, you know, they said they didn't even know about it at all. And they live right there, so, like, we're obviously doing something right, we've already been doing it, and there's been the cops have never been there, we've never had any, you know,
So
so.
they had no problem.
We've had no problem, and when it's happened, like I said, I've turned out 41 people that have asked to stay there. That's $45 a piece that I've kicked out because I don't want to deal with it.
Not kicked out, declined.
Declined. I have asked 2 parties to leave because they were sneaking people out of the property.
Yeah, we can't.
And right, exactly, and they have to drive by our house.
There's one way in, one way out.
There's one way in and one way out. We are cambered up. They're in any of the public areas. There's nobody coming around. And you know, now we found we actually have great neighbors too, so that that are watching out for it at the same time.
I mean, it looks pretty good. I'd like to have a limit of people.
Let's let
Okay,
them
go ahead.
finish the,
Then
let's let them
finish, right.
finish this
I thought he was done.
presentation.
No. This is the here's the gas line right now.
Right.
So you can see the water running down, and you can see it down here too. This is the easement question that you had for how far we are to the edge.
No, the property boundary.
Yeah, well, how far it is to the, yeah. So we have the closest edge is over 237 feet away
For the big campsite.
from the big campsite, and all the other ones are, Mr. Kudiak here, we're supposed to be within 60 feet is our boundary. So
Outside.
we're well over that for all of, yeah. And that's the thing.
There, see, I thought you were.
You can feel it.
I was close.
Good
Very
sense,
close.
right.
But I promised you there'd be measurements to answer your question about property lines.
You did really, really well. And I can accept this. I don't know. I like it. Anyways, any questions from the board?
What's your noise limit?
Like, I mean, the limit is I don't allow people that, like I said, when I screen them, I can't control anything. We're more of an acoustic guitar place than a rock and roll, place.
What time?
I've never had to make a rule like that. I've never had an issue, and if I did, then I would. I mean, like I said, we're very lucky by screening people. They know that they know exactly what they're getting when they come. There's no confusion, and they enjoy it. That's why we're successful, because imagine if you had a store and you could actually screen the people that walked in. You'd never have a shoplifter.
We're up there near the horses to do night checks on the horses between 9 and 11,
Yeah.
and they've never been
How many horses?
noisy.
You never hear a lot.
7, we had 9, we lost.
No complaints from neighbors?
There's an issue with one of them, but obviously there's not.
Going, okay. I'm gonna
Never
ask
had
a
a neighbor
question.
complain to us.
You got any more questions?
No.
You? Before you read anything in, I wanna ask if there's anybody out there. Is there anybody out there that are abutters that have any questions? Or have anything nice to
Don't have a
say?
problem with it whatsoever.
I know you're an abutter, no?
Mm-hmm.
Quite satisfied.
You're satisfied?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, okay, that's good. Then, I'd like you to read some of the stuff into this
Do
here.
you want me to answer, not to get back in a pickle, but you had a question about the amount of people, and I wanna make sure that you're okay with that.
Yeah, well, I was gonna think, well, that big site, you said you could fit like 6 people up there?
The big sites up to, no more than, 16 people. I mean, like I
16.
said, we've had family reunions and birthday parties and stuff like that.
Okay, and a small site, well, what were you thinking? I wanna hear what you're thinking.
Well, I don't, So the way that the camp, it would be a very strange situation if I got like a bunch of people on, besides a holiday weekend, where it would be, most of the times it would be like, if that big site is packed with 16 people, the chances of me getting 16, whatever, it's just not, and if it got overwhelming, I would just say, stop it. But usually it would be, okay, I have a campsite with the 10 people, and then I have 4 people, and then 3 people over here.
Well, you-
Our biggest majority of customers are single women, because of the
One
safety.
woman camping
Like
alone
one
is
woman
single.
camping by themselves, couples. I also give them the option, if they're gonna hike the next day, of not driving. Let's say they're supposed to be gone by noon, they're gonna leave on a Sunday, do you wanna hike this Sunday? Yes, we do. Don't drive to the parking lot, pack your stuff up, park here. And
Well,
that
that's
way we
fine.
know we come back, that way we know you come back, especially the single, I was stayed up at night, like.
Well, that's
early.
fine, that kind of stuff's fine.
With the big campus, with the big site, if you had a party up there like with 16 people, is that site big enough for them all to park? And how many parking spots do they have?
How many?
Parking.
Oh, parking, I'm sorry, I didn't point that out. There's plenty of parking on that, next to the easement and in the parking, there's an area they can pull off to the side. If we were having a big enough, going up the driveway, there's parking up the driveway. We are not, like I said, they can park on the power lines, there's no problem. They just can't store their cars there. And the other thing, to go back to the capping of people, there are times of the year where I want to work with the city, if you guys are having an event, and increase the number that I could have in. I mean, I did it for Mass Mocha.
Or
So,
the Adams Theater.
or the Adams Theater or stuff like that, and to work with the city and get in the town, to get them.
It's not a bad idea.
No, I think it's.
That's really not.
Well, you guys
bad
have a
idea.
parking lot that you can't let people
Right.
camp in. So like Mass Mocha, and when I do the big ones, so let's say I did, this was 2 years ago, right, when I was, so I did 15, I opened up 15 campsites. Only 1 car per campsite, maximum 4 people. No campfires, personal campfires, I will have a designated central campfire that I will be in charge of. So only propane cooking at the tent sites. You can either have 2, let's say 2 4-person pup tents, or 1 like 8 or 10-person pup tent. So that's the criteria. So the rules are different for that group, and we're also increasing the amount of people we could be in. And I don't want to do that on a regular basis.
Right.
It's too freaking hard. And I want to bring the city business, so I really, seriously,
And it's,
the town.
that's,
I'm from Detroit, so not to offend the good townspeople.
well, because you do have 22 acres.
Right.
And the town, what were they gonna, they had like 7 acres, and how many,
10 acres.
huh?
Well, it was 7, but the 10, they counted a different.
I think they had like 7 acres, and they were gonna have,
They were gonna have like 145
Yeah, something like that,
campsites
yeah.
on 7
so that's,
Oh, you're talking that.
And that's less than, we could walk there in 10 minutes. I mean, and that's at a slow pace. I mean,
Right,
seriously, we
so-
can see it from the gas line, we can see where that.
so I really think this is, it was pretty good.
You've got 4 designated campsites now.
Yes.
Are you looking at expanding in the future?
Not, like I said, only for special occasions. I mean, we do want to do events where, let's say we have a wedding, and the people can bring in, their people can camp for the wedding. I mean, they're,
Or
and then you're bringing in for
People who
catering,
might come down
you're bringing
into
in
town to our
for wait
restaurants.
staff that's gonna do
stuff
that,
like
and
that.
people, yeah, so I've been a chef, I've, worked for towns, and cities, in the DPW department. I worked for Lowe's and Home Depot in Detroit for 30 years at commercial sales. I was the highest salesperson in the region. I dealt with the city council for Detroit. I've done many projects with the town. I helped the revitalization When it first happened in Detroit, I was a big part of that.
So you've been a chef?
I am a
They're
licensed
looking for-
chef, I'm a licensed
looking for
chef in
someone
the
to
state of
open up a
Florida.
Restaurant at, that new,
No, fair enough.
Yeah, we're not right now, believe me. But that's another good point. We have this nice new nature center, and you're gonna have 4 campsites where people can walk to and enjoy it.
right, and you know something, that makes sense, I mean, I don't know,
And how much is it costing the town?
nothing,
Hey, Mike, can I add one thing?
sure.
Taxes in Adams are pretty high.
Yeah,
It's 20 acres
Yeah.
and my 80 acres, it's pretty high. I think they should be able to make a little money off of it, my opinion.
I think it's, yeah,
Thank you very much. And suggestions.
so you're- in favor of it,
Yes,
okay. That's all.
I have no problem with it.
Are you, do you live nearby?
I do not, I live on the other side of town. I'm
Okay.
on a farm. I've been to their farm though. It's beautiful. I've walked up to the campsites. And they're nice and open, very natural. I've checked their Hip Camp website. If you're going to Hip Camp, you're not looking for, glamping.
Right.
You wanna camp.
do you have any first aid facility or anything there?
We have kids and I have to be trained for
Okay, so they'll be trained.
parenting, right?
Well, why
We
don't,
don't advertise that, like, that's not a,
Yeah, no, I'm
think we
just saying if
offer.
there is an
We're
emergency, is there somebody that can handle it?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
why
that's
don't
the
we
numbers
raise-
to call, but yes,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
okay, at this time, why don't we read into the minutes some of the, letters that we've received?
Okay. You want me to read them?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, the first one is from Jacqueline Fowler Locke to Adams Planning Board. My property at 169 West Road abuts that of the Foley Row property at 185 West Road. I have spoken to them about their planned camping sites. I believe that this will have no impact on my property, and I have no objections to granting this waiver. The second one is from Nicole Brown in Adams, and to whom it may concern. I am writing in support of Aisling Mountain Farm located on West Road in Adams. I am a resident of the town of Adams and was born and raised here. I've known Kathy Foley and Christian for many years, as my daughter used to take therapy horseback riding lessons at their facilities. They are understanding citizens who have always followed the protocols of the town and are considerate of their abutting neighbors. If this farm was forced to shutter, it would be detrimental to our area. They provide safe camping options for visitors and hopefully will be able to offer therapy lessons again soon. Equine therapy is so beneficial as it provides emotional regulation, improved motor skills, and increased confidence for children and adults with disabilities. Again, Aisling Mountain Farm is an asset to our town and provides wonderful services for citizens and visitors alike. Thank you for your time and consideration on this matter. And then,
Ashley.
Ashlyn? Okay, thank you.
I was wondering too, yeah.
I didn't get offended.
Okay, and this letter is from Nick Noyes. This was sent to, all three of these letters were sent to the ZBA meeting and also to ours, to the Adams Zoning Board of Appeals. My partner Donna Meswar and I are near neighbors of
Ashley.
Ashley Farm. When we received the ZBA notice about a campground in our neighborhood, we were concerned. Our property abuts the Greylock Glen, and their first campground proposal for the current project now underway was to put 175 test sites on 7 acres of land. By those standards, Ailing, what is it?
Ashley.
Ashling's project could plan to put 550 tent sites on their 22 acres. Turns out they want to have 4. We were vaguely aware that there was a campground nearby. We live less than a quarter of a mile away, but there were never any issues. We've had no complaints. When we learned that Aisling is offering therapeutic horseback riding and selling eggs, along with providing the opportunity for backwoods camping on the property. Owner Kathy Foley is a licensed mental health counselor, certified therapeutic riding instructor, and a licensed Massachusetts riding instructor. A little about me because it is relevant. I spent nearly a decade as a journalist, so I like to do some research before drawing conclusions. Since leaving journalism, I've spent many years in marketing and public relations, including nearly another decade as the public relations director for the Berkshire Visitors Bureau, the now former Regional Tourism Promotion Agency for the Berkshires. I wrote the grant that brought the Visitor Center and the Visitors Bureau headquarters to Adams, then brought journalists from around the world right here to Adams, so I know a little bit about tourism and attracting visitors. Reviewing the website where they advertise, Hip Camp, Airbnb for campers, shows that there are years of reviews, well over 100, for the campground and the Adams area in general. Every commenter is highly positive, and all of them recommend this facility. That almost never happens. One family came, their kids accidentally got into some poison ivy, and they still wrote a glowing review and said the kids loved it. In 2024, Hip Camp, which represents 5 million acres of private tent sites, named Aisling one of the best hip camps. Seeing all that last week, I called owners Kathy and Christian, whom we did not know, to ask to meet them. We were warmly greeted by 2 very hard-working folks who are running a small operation doing exactly what the Glen Project wants, bringing people to Adams, giving them a great impression of the town, and sending them out into the community to spend their money at local establishments. It's practically a miracle. They've done it all without asking for millions of dollars in taxpayer money, and doing it respectfully and conscientiously for our community. Adams likes to do things by the book. Great. Problem is, sometimes for a small business, that amounts to throwing the book at them instead. By any standards, this is a low-key, low-income, quiet operation that has been operating safely and successfully for years without issues. Aisling has already done many of the things that this board might require, including providing suitable infrastructure to accommodate their business, as well as conferring with abutters such as National Grid, the Tennessee Valley Pipeline, and their abutting neighbors. They bring small groups of people to Adams and show them a good time, all the while keeping the safety and comfort of their clients in mind at every turn. They have demonstrated competence and proven that they know what they are doing. Kathy and Christian have well earned our help and support, if not our gratitude, by showing what is possible in Adams. Buying this operation with hurdles, requirements, and restrictions would be easy. Something as simple as mandating a professionally prepared site plan could eat up more than half of what this small operation makes in a single year. But you really only need a plan to envision something that might occur. That has already happened. If you're concerned about what's going on there, do what we did. Go take a look. That will tell you a lot more than looking at a representative plan. If instead the town imposes a few reasonable conditions, then Aisling can continue operating and keep bringing people to Adams, and all the while being terrific ambassadors for our community. It's a simple choice. Let's set our intention to find common ground to help these folks succeed. Sincerely, Nick Noyes, 60 West Mountain Road.
Pretty good. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. You have anything?
Well, I just I mean, I went on to the, Hip Camp, is it Hip Camp?
Yeah.
Website, and I just kind of pulled up some reviews that I read that were like, I didn't pull up 131.
Well, you don't have
And I'm not gonna read 131.
No.
But I mean, all the ones that I did pull up they were all great, so. I can read a couple of them.
Okay, go
Is that
ahead.
okay? So it says, this is an absolutely beautiful property, and Christian is an all-star host. Location-wise, you cannot do better than this. At the foot of Mount Greylock, within 10 to 15 minutes of Adams and North Adams, with amazing art galleries, shopping, food and drink, and of course, Mass Mocha. Also within 5 to 30 minutes of incredible hiking, as easy or adventurous as you care to find. There are a few sites on the property, and each offers something a little unique. We had a larger open site with a massive fire ring and table and room for a couple small vehicles and tents, or a van rooftop tent, SUV camper or two. Private and surrounded by woods and mountain views beyond. Very well kept and thought out place to stay, and we will certainly be back. So that's you know what I mean, somebody's coming back.
Yeah,
This one, easy check-in, spacious area, great fire pit, close to trails, definitely would recommend. Getting to see the horses around was an added bonus. Let's see, wonderful spot, beautiful area, very well-kept campsite, friendly and helpful host. Tent camping on Christian's farm was great, site was clean and secluded. It felt like I checked out of the great race for the weekend. Area is beautiful with tons of trails to hike all day right from the farm. Just a stone's throw from Mount Greylock. Don't forget, you're all trails for Google Maps. Great spot. I will camp here again, great land. I just put some highlights, location-wise, you can't do better than this. And we will certainly be back, so there was tons of positive.
well, that's good, that sounds good.
Tons of
Okay,
them, so.
okay, okay, I'm gonna ask the board members if they reviewed the answers to the applications, to the questions, and if they're satisfied with the answers, or do they have any questions for the applicant? You guys are all set?
I'm all
Are
set.
you all happy? You all set? Okay. Now I'll open it back up one more time to the, our butters here. Anybody have anything more to say?
Just got to say, let them earn some money, that's all.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna close the meeting to the public now. So they all talked, and did you have anything, Kiyomi?
No.
Okay. And,
She's been here.
I'm gonna ask for a motion.
Okay, so is it, okay.
Just for the waiver, is it?
No, I think a motion to grant this thing, no?
Well, we have to do the waiver first.
What's that?
Have to do
We
the
have
waiver
to-
first.
We have to vote on whether to give them a waiver from the requirements for a professional.
Well, let's do that first.
Okay.
Somebody got a motion?
So
I usually give them. That's because I'm sitting in that seat. But I'm the chairman now, so I can't do that.
So I make a motion to
Waive.
so I have to say the whole, I make a motion to waive from the requirements for a professionally prepared site plan.
Want to read that to us?
Or do I read the whole?
No, you don't have to.
Okay, I don't wanna leave.
Okay, you good?
Yes, and
Okay,
then
she's good.
I'll second.
We got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? No nays. Okay. Okay, another motion. Well, one is, one of you.
I can't do it. Not yet.
I usually do them, I'm pretty good at that. That's about the only thing I'm good at.
I think at the zoning board, did they have some,
They,
had some stipulations they had?
Findings and conditions?
Yeah.
I can.
What were the stipulations the zoning board put on?
They wanted, I can
Yeah, you
actually,
can show it up there,
yeah,
because we haven't seen it yet.
It's just draft and we haven't finalized it.
Yeah, that's
But
the
just
one.
for reference.
Okay.
Can I use this?
that's,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can take that
They,
flash drive.
they were talking about the same thing that we were about limiting the vehicles, and then it came to it came down to it when we discussed it. I said, what would be better because I knew we were gonna have this discussion, and this is the group that would, so I had said, well, 50 people, because they wanna do cars, and I'm like, that just doesn't, and even 50 people is, like I said, if we
That's a
limit,
lot, that would be.
that's a lot of people, I wouldn't have that many people.
And that would be during a holiday for some reason, or something like that.
Absolutely, I wouldn't even want to do that,
And even that's not a whole lot for
right,
22
for
acres.
22 acres.
Because
So-
how many sites, I still want to hear, how many sites about Adams, what they were gonna have with the Glen? I know they were gonna have a whole bunch.
Yeah, 100 and,
This letter mentions that.
yeah.
175 tent sites on.
And I think they were
7 acres.
camper
7
sites too.
acres, 107, so
175.
175
Yeah.
Camping sites
camping
on
sites.
7 acres.
Wow, that's a
That
big
is-
I don't think
Which
it's
ain't
a
happening
problem.
anyways.
What's that?
Right.
Which isn't happening.
No, it's not happening because the people pulled out.
You know, like I said,
Anyways, this is good for the town.
thank
I
you.
think.
That- I, that's what we want too, I mean, we definitely,
And
yeah,
and you run a first-class, top-notch business.
thank you.
And most of your neighbors are good. I didn't hear the nay from the one person that was mad or didn't like this.
She talked at the zoning board, but she's not here today.
I didn't hear that one, so I don't have it here.
Can
Do you have it?
Can you read?
So this is what the zoning board,
Draft decision note.
Okay, so I can't see that. I see,
Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Okay, so, they voted unanimously, so we have the special permit. No significant changes or hazards, congestion, or determined by the neighborhood character will result. The operation or development of adjacent properties will not be adversely affected by the proposed use. The proposed use will not create detriments to the health, safety, and/or welfare of occupants or citizens of the town. The proposed use does not impair the integrity of the R1 or R2 districts or adjoining districts, see condition 2. The proposed use in general harmony with the surrounding neighborhood. The proposed use has no adverse effect on the actual environment, we're actually trying to improve it. All required public services are in place. The proposed use will not be detrimental to the economy of the town of Adams. It supports the town official missions, outdoor recreation destination. And the following conditions, this was, the number of campers is limited to 50 people. We're not, and then they said no, they're doubled, you know, they want to cover their bases. So they said no motorhomes, no recreational vehicles, or trailers larger than
And you don't do that
16
anyway.
feet. We don't, yeah, we can't allow, our Ranger is the only thing we allowed on our property, so
Right,
as
okay.
far as that's concerned.
Somebody rode across with an ATV once when we first moved in, this is way before camping was a thing.
Okay,
and
that scared a
It
horse.
scared a
That's not
horse,
good, yeah.
and it almost threw a rider, and
Okay.
they didn't have permission anyway.
I
We
would like
stopped
to
it.
just say one thing. If you do happen to have a big party,
Mhm.
50 people, right? I don't know if one porta potty is going to be.
Oh,
enough.
yeah, we increased when we did that, we increased the porta potties.
Okay, I'd like to put just a stipulation in there that if they were to have 50 people, say, right, that they have at least three porta potties. And I think you might need, out of those three, one of them for the handicap.
So that, well, if we had that, we would order a handicap one. I do want to do that, and there's a significant difference in the
Right,
price.
right. You don't need to have it
Right,
all
right.
the time.
Right.
I'm just saying when you're gonna have a significant amount of people.
We,
Because can you imagine a big line?
We would also know if there was anybody coming on the property with disabilities, because he talks to everybody before they come. So if everybody's a hiker,
Right.
we probably don't need to have,
No, they won't.
I've talked about it with the company though. It is actually something that I've looked at, and, you know, it's about another $60 a month for
I
that
think
one.
the state wouldn't want that.
Yes.
You know, so it's something that I think the state would like to see.
We increase our business a little bit more and there'll be no problem.
Yeah,
But yes,
Can I make a
yeah,
comment?
sure.
So if we could finish reading the
Sure.
conditions that they set, because
Yeah,
I
go
think that
ahead.
addresses your,
Oh, does it?
well,
Jesus, I
okay.
talked too soon.
So no part of any campsite will be closer than 60 feet. We see that's not an issue, okay? But they put it in there to cover themselves. The maximum number of days which a campsite may be rented to an individual camper or camping party is limited to 2 weeks.
this is another one that, I don't know, just that they kind of put in there because they were worried about squatters. And it's not really an issue for like I've had somebody stay there for a week and then all of a sudden they've like asked for another week. But they have to ask, you know, they have to ask for the time, so it's not really.
Well, I mean, if there's only 3-4 people there, it's not gonna matter.
It's right, and I'm not gonna let them stay to the point where they're gonna be squatters, and
And then
once again, they're not used to dealing with this, so they were trying to cover all their bases.
Right.
Number 3, the campsite will comply with building code and Board of Health regulations.
You got it.
Trash receptacles will be secured against scavenging.
Yeah, because you got bears.
Right, so I'm thinking that's gonna cover the porta potty, whatever,
The Board of Health.
the Board of Health. I don't think we need to put,
With the porta potties?
Yeah,
yeah,
but the Board of
because,
Health is gonna have regulation.
What's that?
The Board of Health would have regulation, not us.
Oh,
Right.
okay. All right.
So I
And we
would-
follow what the company, that there's so many people per, so if we
Right.
did get a weekend where it was gonna be more people, and when we did that, I actually separated, so I put one here, and then I put one close to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
that's what you
camp,
would
so,
do, yeah.
yeah, right.
Because you know how I know that? I used to put on concerts down at the, what do you call that place down there in
Oh,
Columbia Street?
Bowfield.
Who?
Bowfield?
Bowl Field, right? And, we had to have, we had 7 or 8 party, you know, because we had 1,000 people there. And we had, that wasn't even enough.
Yeah, that would.
And we had a bathroom besides, with a bunch of and that was tough to handle.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, you gotta have those bathrooms.
Well, and I come from a background in the restaurant business too, so I definitely know.
So you know what I'm
Right,
saying.
yeah, I do not want people to be in lines, and I don't want, once again, that reflects on us. Like, if you read through these, numerous people say, cleanest porta potty ever, yeah, like it's been, so I don't, we're not gonna get us a
They've
bad
been doing it
reputation.
for- read these
Yeah.
reviews, they've been
Well,
doing
you
it for
see,
3
okay,
years.
so you're saying I don't need to put that in.
No.
that, in my opinion.
I don't-
You're,
I don't
yeah,
think we-
it's gonna happen anyway, so.
Well, once you're gonna have it.
But you don't know us from.
But you know,
we've
it's,
done it for horse clinics that we've
well, it
had
doesn't
in
hurt
farm
putting
too.
it in.
No.
I don't think we need to, I don't think
Okay,
it's.
we'll leave it to
Because
that.
I don't know how.
I'll leave it to the health department.
Yeah.
I just brought it up, that's all.
You're right though, that's a point I should have brought up.
So
Excellent.
in my opinion, what the zoning board has listed as conditions, I
Covers
think,
everything?
I think so. I don't think
Okay.
we need to add any additional conditions, but that's my
Well, I-
opinion. I don't know how anybody else feels.
Well, I think it's fine, and I go along with the 50 people too.
Well, I mean,
How do you feel?
Bringing business into Abington, and like Mr. Prudiak says, we need something, because this is getting bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
my freaking taxes,
Taxes
everybody
are
else's
high,
taxes
taxes.
keep going up. And we're not seeing anything coming in.
Yeah, I think this is, you really did a fine job here,
Thank you.
you know, presenting this, it was a good presentation, and,
I think this was the only presentation that we've ever had was with a PowerPoint
right,
presentation.
right, it was
That's
very
great.
good.
Yeah.
And, anybody have, there's no more questions, why don't we go ahead, and we can go ahead and do you know,
Make a motion.
just to clarify though that, because the 50 people like we were talking about might, I mean, as
So
much as we don't want to, go beyond that, I also don't, we want to do a special, I don't want to have to come in and go through this again if we want to,
Well, say, I'm gonna say this. Say all of a sudden, you want 100 people,
right.
and then 150 people. I think you'd have to come back, you would have to come back to the board, right?
Yes.
To do that. But I think we'll keep it at 50 for now, and if everything's going good and stuff like that, and business is running well, and you can do 100 people,
So if I can, if all I'd want is
All you would have to do is
access to
come back
an
to
email somebody and say, listen, this weekend, mass smoke is coming up,
yeah.
we'd really like to increase it, do we have blessings and.
Yeah, I think it would, what do they charge?
Board of Selectmen.
No,
No,
I
No,
I
what?
think,
I don't think it works that.
not for just one
Well, that's why I'm
time.
asking.
Not for just one
Why
time.
can't you just say excluding special occasions?
Right,
Well, that's interesting.
There you
special,
go.
yeah. Okay, that's a good idea.
And then maybe we can define those special occasions a little bit more later and say, because I want the city, the town to call us, I want every city to call us,
Why don't we
actually, send us
define
business,
it?
but.
Can we do
Okay,
that?
fine, yeah, if you want to.
We could add porta potties and define so many people.
I don't think we need to add porta potties. You
Well, I
gotta go by,
don't think one porta potty's gonna handle
Well,
all
I
those
think
people.
that.
But that goes
they're
under the
saying
Board of
one
Health.
porta potty is for 4 sites, and they've got in there that they have to go by the Board of Health. So I think that, I don't know.
There are
how they-
regulations for.
Has the
each
Board of
porta
Health,
potty,
has it been
but-
up there, the Board of Health, or is that next?
No, but they have to
You
follow
gotta
the
see that?
regulations.
We were,
There
Follows
are
exactly.
regulations about what has to be there, and each porta potty is made for X number of people over
Right.
X
Right,
amount of time.
exactly, yeah.
We don't know
We've
what that
added,
is.
we've
What?
added porta potties.
We don't know what that is.
Right.
No, but-
We don't.
but
Like, I don't.
I know we had to put a whole bunch in.
Well, yeah, but we're not doing that, we're talking
Yeah.
about. their-
Yeah, but who told you?
We,
you had
we
to
don't
go
know
on?
if it's 10 people per porta potty or 4 people per porta potty. We
Oh,
don't
We
have
don't
that,
know.
that
I think when we
information.
talked to the porta potty people, it was 50.
Yeah, but we're not.
The porta potty
You're that
people.
close.
How many years ago was that?
Huh?
How many years ago was that?
That's what you.
That was like
it's,
before COVID.
I'm gonna listen
We
to
had, I
the,
put 3 concerts on,
I'm
yeah.
gonna listen to the state and town
Yeah.
health regulations
Yeah.
and what they say, and then the porta potty people would order it and they bring it
Yeah,
to
and
us.
it's not much
But,
for one day.
Nobody
you
does
can't get them for a
that.
day, you only get them for a month.
Or gotta be a week,
A month,
you
a
can,
month?
yeah.
you can get them for a day.
The
or you
last
can
time I
get
did it,
them
it was for a month, oh yeah.
Oh, that's not what they did with us.
We have a different company now, but you were also probably getting
Change.
30, 40 or something of it. We're just getting one. They're not gonna make a special trip back to go
No.
pick it up. They only pick up and drop off once a month.
All right, let's see.
Okay,
If
that's-
yeah.
You wanna
Well,
talk
let's
about
do a
special,
motion.
you wanna
Just
talk
do-
about special events, or I
I
mean,
don't.
I don't wanna talk about it either, because what if you leave something out? Birthday party, a wedding,
That's all
something at
special
Mocha.
events. Those are all special
Right,
events.
but if you specify what those events are, and we leave something out, and then
Mm-hmm.
they wanna have something, it's not in there.
You might forget to say
you're
gender
tying their
reveal.
hands.
I say we go with the 50 people for now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I said.
I don't think we
You're
have
happy
to
with
add any
50?
conditions.
Are you happy with 50?
Yeah.
You happy with 50?
I would still like-
Excluding special occasions.
Yeah, I would like this, because, and I know what I absolutely understand, and like I said, there are there are at least 2 times a year for different concerts that I would
You look
do.
at no field when they,
The top, the zoning board put the
It's full of
restriction on 50
Full.
people, so I would think
Right.
they would have to come
I
to
mean,
the zoning.
They already got,
Not us.
restricted you to 50 people.
No,
They were
they
actually
don't.
corrected when they did this by Donna, came in the room and said, these really aren't what you guys are supposed to do, that's for the planning board.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's your decision, not theirs.
Our
What
decision.
if,
Yes,
what if you
It
said,
is.
what if you
Yeah.
said 50,
And not even mine.
except
How about
for,
that? Where's
Except
that?
for
I was thought-
special
thought you
events.
would've been here. I agree.
up to 6 times a year,
Yeah,
where
that's
it
good. You
could
did
be a
50.
different number.
Well, you're only talking twice a year with Mass Mocha. You're talking when they have the 2 big concerts that they have, and they look for parking all over, the place, and they look for campsites.
and tents, all.
And because they go down to, Bull Field.
Like,
they go down there, they use those campsites, and,
What if they get stuff going at the Glen or the Adams Theater or somewhere around here?
Yeah.
That's, you know, I hope that's not gonna be.
Well, let me
only
ask you
twice a
this.
year or every once
If
in
you
a
were to
while.
go over 50 people for special occasions, who would you notify in the town?
That would be a question I'd ask the town.
Why should, you don't have to. Why should you have to do that?
Yes, I
A
agree with you.
hotel
And
doesn't say when they're full, but, well, they have their, we're full.
No
It's okay.
occupancy.
right, no occupancy, yeah,
You
right,
know,
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
Okay,
Well, they
who
were
are you gonna tell?
So
You're
I would
gonna
just
tell
say
somebody on a Friday
50
and the event's on
people,
Saturday?
hours of special occasions.
That's, as long as there's some wiggle room so I can be successful in
My
that.
question would be, how many special occasions do you allow here?
So we were, so 6, I agree with do 6.
But then again, that depends on what the town is offering. Columbus Day, what do we have? The Ramble Fest, we have, Thunder Fest. What's gonna happen with the
yeah, but
Adams
people aren't gonna
Theater?
be camping all at, on,
Oh, yes, they are. They camp in the.
Thunderfest?
Oh,
Thunderfest? Winterfest?
Hey, us Boy Scouts used to be in the fall, and then we would be up to snow here, up to our knees in snow.
We
You
don't
can't
allow
see me
hunters,
outside
but.
in that stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Did you say there was 16 people that are allowed by hip camp per site?
That's the number that I choose. I can choose whatever number that I want.
So technically, you're saying 16 times
64.
4,
Right,
you're saying 64.
right. And that should, you know, but I can add, you know, like I said. Now, if I were gonna do a special situation for that day, I would design another explanation. So it would be like, okay, this is a regular hip camp, and if you're going to these dates, it's also not gonna be $45 anymore, it's gonna be $65 or something like that. And all those special rules I mentioned, and, you know, and then it would be, you know, the amount of people would be, you know,
And I
increased
think you
where.
get people too.
But
They do.
it's also gonna take work from the town, because they're, you know, we have to get out there and
'Cause they gotta
get
eat.
known, and if somebody wants to have an event, any
gotta
kind of
eat.
event, what's that?
Probably in
They
the,
say in here that they venture out into the town and.
I mean, it's gotta be good for the town. It's
Well, I
gotta
send
be
them
good
to-
for the town.
Yeah, I sent
So
it to the
100?
markets.
100 is
Yeah.
good?
100?
That's good.
100, all right, let's.
I don't think I'll hit the 50, but I want.
100
You don't wanna
people
have
on
to come back
special
here.
occasions.
I'll blame you.
How
Well, I'll
about
be back
up to
here.
100
Yeah.
people on special occasions?
Will you give
Well,
me
how many
for
special occasions do we
occasions?
wanna say?
I don't think we can limit it, you can't limit special
Give
occasions.
me your phone number. Give me your phone number. I'll call you.
We'll call
It's
it.
your guys, whatever you wanna do,
You
go
know what
ahead.
I mean?
What?
But
We did 100 with that.
I still think we gotta, and you'll have to follow up on this. You're gonna have to have more porta potties and stuff.
Oh.
If we get more people, we will. Like I said, that's our reputation. I'm not gonna say yeah.
Okay.
They've been
I'm not
ready
trying to be
make
a
motion.
jerk.
They've been doing it for 3
And
years.
You don't
I'm
want
ready to
people
make a motion.
doing it in the woods like the bears do.
Make the motion.
no.
no, they're not allowed.
Okay,
The
Mr.
bears
Chairman?
do it in the woods, but we don't want people.
Bears.
Let's make a motion.
Okay, make a motion.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion for the application, case number 25-2, application of Catherine Foley for site plan approval under 125-19 of the Adams zoning bylaw for property located at 185 West Road. Request to operate a campground in R1, R2 zoning district. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that with one condition, and that is maximum occupancy of up to 100 people on special occasions.
And 50 otherwise.
Yeah, and, I mean, they've got 50 over there. Do you want me to put the 50 in? 50,
Overall,
no, 100 overall.
no, 100 on special occasions.
Right, right.
50 over.
Yeah,
overall.
On a regular basis, the
Right.
4 campsites can accommodate a maximum of 50 people.
Okay.
And on special occasions, such as Thunderfest, Ramblefest,
Will go, fresh grass.
Wilco, Fresh Grass,
Yeah,
but not limited to just
No, no,
those.
right.
weddings,
The
weddings?
maximum attendance would be 100 people.
Okay, go ahead.
Attendance or campers?
Yes.
Because attendance, we
campers.
might have 200 people
Right.
at the wedding and then.
Right, campers.
Right, then
Two
100.
Yes.
hundred, you saying?
You've never been to a wedding with
No,
200?
I-
Not campers, not campers.
They're not talking about camper, they're,
Okay,
like if they have a wedding, there's a
People
might be-
sleeping over, sleeping.
Yeah, yeah, they might have 200 at a wedding, but not camping.
oh, you could fit 200 people for a wedding?
Well, they don't know, they haven't tried it yet.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay,
Depends if the horses let them use the barn.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess, I don't know.
All right.
is there a second? Is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Naomi, would you read it back, please? I just wanna make sure that I got it right.
I was planning to listen later.
Oh, okay, all right,
I'm gonna
so,
transcript and send it to you to make
no,
sure.
okay. All right, I think I got it right,
Yeah,
right? Does that sound right?
Yes,
Sounds
you did
okay.
good.
Okay. Are you guys okay? Is that good?
Yeah, sure.
It's, yeah, campers, not attendants, campers.
Okay.
With no wheels.
So where's that?
You had to vote.
Oh,
Okay, we got to call for the vote. Any other
Okay.
discussion?
I'm still with the porta potty things, you take care of that. Really, I'm big
I'll
on
take
that.
care of that.
I am too.
Okay,
Everybody bring their own.
all right. We have a motion, if there's discussion.
Do you want to add something in for the porta potties? I'm not going to say, I don't think we should say,
I don't think we need to.
We
I don't
don't
think
need,
so either.
leave it to the health department.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. Now, you have 22 acres.
Well, we got to take a vote first.
No, we don't.
Well, we should.
Discussion
There he is.
No, we already had discussion.
on the motion.
Oh,
No?
Larry, you're the German. You-
okay.
Okay, only thing I'm saying, you have, right? You have 22 acres, right?
Yes.
And now, how much of that is usable? Are you using 10 acres for the campsites or?
Probably 15 in total, and then the
Okay.
back, and then,
I'm just curious.
no, that's, yeah,
Because
definitely.
7 acres, I'm trying to figure, 7 acres and all of those sites that they wanted to do. And you guys only want to do 4 sites on 22 acres.
We're not wanting to hire people to manage it.
No.
And, you know, so yes, we could expand further, make
If
it
we
more
wanted to.
backcountry if we wanted to.
But you don't really want
It's
to,
not.
you just want to, okay, I'm
Wanted
good
to
with this.
support the,
Okay,
We want to have fun with it, it's no
okay,
fun.
we have a motion, we have the second, we're gonna take a vote individually. Okay? Sandy?
Yes. Aye.
Yay.
Yes.
Aye for me too. It's unanimously.
thank you.
You have your,
Thank you.
you're all set.
Mike, good job.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, we
Okay.
appreciate it.
Dave, thanks for
And
coming.
I'm usually not the guy that does this either.
Meeting is
I'm not the
adjourned.
chairman.
Meeting is adjourned.
Have you been here for other meetings? You did a wonderful job, especially since we got rain.
Did I do it all right?
We need to jump on.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Is that all we got left, adjourn?
Yes.
Oh, we got old business?
Having a permit.
We don't have any.
issue.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta read something else.
That's the most important.
Wait a minute, I'm not done. I gotta tell you something. To you people, the town will prepare within 14 days the decision notice to the town clerk's office, and following this, there's gonna be a 20-day appeal period before the applicant may obtain the final decision notice. Keomi will send an applicant notification of this in the days ahead. All set?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Keomi,
Thank
you
you
got
very
that?
much.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn. Well, no, wait a minute.
Wait a
Let me do
minute.
that.
Wait a minute. Old business. Any old business?
No,
No old business? How about a review of mail? Any mail?
What do you got? You got something
No.
right there on the,
Where?
you were looking at it already. It's a,
I was trying to find that old person, that person that was against it, but I couldn't find it.
no,
What?
there, you got a folder, you got some kind of pamphlet.
This?
No, I think that was from the gas company.
Over there to the right, by the red
This
solo
is
car.
ours, Dad,
This?
actually.
What is that?
That was
That's
from the
theirs.
gas company today that came.
Oh!
Looked at the.
That's pretty
Oh,
nice.
oh, okay, okay.
Oh, that's from them? That's from the gas?
Yeah, they came out to check that we weren't doing anything
Really?
wrong on the gas line.
And they said you're doing a good job, right?
They did.
Oh, yeah, they came, they
All
actually came here
right,
to tell
all
you we were
right,
doing a
we've
good
already
job.
voted.
Yeah, we
Yes,
are.
we did.
Okay, before we adjourn,
Yeah.
I would just like to,
I'm thinking.
We did.
I would like to say that this is Dave Krasinski's last planning board meeting.
It is.
He's not running for re-election.
No. Who's
So
running?
we want to thank you
You
for,
did.
shh. We want to thank you for your time and your dedication and your service to this board and to the town without compensation.
Yeah, you know, we're all volunteers.
So thank you very much, Dave.
You know, I've been doing this for 38 years.
Just fun and.
Now, motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Is there any mail, Keel?
No.
No mail? Okay, now adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Okay, got a motion? All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Did you
Wait a
second
minute.
it? You
Oh,
seconded
you
it.
second.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Who did the first?
Woo!
Well, people, I
I did.
hope you think I did okay of the job.